folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Hellboy, The Bones of Giants, Issue 3 by Dark Horse. Now there is violence, fighting, some blood, corpses, an autopsy, and magical shit in this one, so if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's our team. All the same people. Let's start. So, where we left off in issue 2, the king of the giants was about to rise. Or something was about to rise, and Hellboy was like, ah, crap. So, we start with the king of the giants rising. He's a big motherfucker. As you can guess, Abe asks the Ackman's daughter, did you know it was gonna be this big? And she's like, well, duh, he's the king of giants. And we're gonna pick a tiny man for the job. Yeah, anyway, he rises up. You can tell that Eichmann was in on all of this. He did it voluntarily. So, just so they're like, shit, what do we do? The dwarves arrive. Dwarves. Or the Norse mythology version of them, anyway. They arrive, the two, Brock and Eitri, they brought more dwarves with them to help. Hellboy's like, finally you guys are here. And they're like, we're not here for you, we're here to save all the 9 realms. And Hellboy's like, well, then we're all fighting for the same reason. So they start fighting. The king of giants grabs Hellboy. Looks at him, he says, Thunderer. Because Hellboy is now fused with the hammer, with Mjolnir, Thor is fused with him. So the king of giants sees him as Thor. And, Hellboy, he says, I am your king now. I will see this realm. And Hellboy's like, you probably didn't hear the news, but we don't do kings anymore. And he hits his arm and breaks the bones on it. The king of giants is essentially a skeleton. So they're fighting now. While that happens, as Abe is fighting the ugly elves, he tells Eichmann's daughter to go and get the it's called a trinket. It's the smug. It has the soul of the king of giants. That's what Eichmann used to raise him up from the dead, to have him reborn. So the daughter gets to him as they're all fighting. She's telling him, Dad, I know you started this, but it's not too late to stop. He's like, well, he's not going to stop. Because she tries to grab it, the mug falls from his hand, and he's like, no, the mug. And she's like, the mug? Is that all you care about? And he's like, out of my way, girl. He's about to get it, but then the king of giants steps on it, and Eichmann looks up and, my king, you need it. And he's like, I had my soul in that thing. I don't need it anymore. I'm taking it all back. He grabs Eichmann and sucks whatever parts of his soul were in Eichmann into himself. And Eichmann is obviously dead now. He drops him, he looks at all of them, and he says, I want to see what my kingdom looks like. We will fight later. And I was like, no, let's fight now. And he's like, no. And he starts leaving. Hellboy looks at the dwarves and says, can you guys track him? And he says, yes, we'll follow him, and if we lose his tracks, we will, there'll be people, he implies there'll be creatures, perhaps in the city, that will know where he is. And word of mouth will go around. Hellboy is about to say something to Abe, and Abe says, not now, Hellboy, as he's, has an arm wrapped around Eichmann's daughter, as she looks at the corpse of her father. Then I assume that night we're in a hospital somewhere in Sweden, and we see a pathologist and her assistant, and we see that government agent guy. His name is, now I remember, Carl, or Carl something. Anyway, he's there. They're about to perform an autopsy on the body of Thor. Now he can't believe it. And the assistant can't believe it. He's like, I can't believe this is. And the pathologist tells him, look, we deal in science. This is just a body. We're about to do our thing. If you tell anyone, you won't have a job, no matter what the government guy says or what the government says. She starts cutting out the remaining flesh, and then suddenly, then we see the government agent guy, that the prick one that I said was a dickhead. It's like, what is that? And the woman, one of the Valkyries that Hellboy talked to in the previous issue, she's the one that appears, and she's like, I'm here to claim the shell. She's there to take Thor's body. And they're like, no, you can't take the body. Just step away from here. And she says no. And then the government agent guy, I mean, what an idiot. He starts shooting at her. And I'm like, you guys, you have someone who appeared in front of you from, never mind. She appeared in front of you. Don't you think it's best not to start shooting? I mean, what a moron. I mean, he didn't even warn her or anything. He's not like freeze or something. He just starts shooting her. I'm like, are you retarded? Now, the bullets obviously don't do anything to her, and I don't know, it almost like, I think one of them ricochets and kills the pathologist, and she's like, and the Valkyrie tells him, no, it's not my time to die. And then she turns to him and says, but it is yours. It is your time. And she kills him. And then afterward, you see the body's gone. The agent is dead. The pathologist is dead, or the examiner, sorry. I should have called her the examiner. And you see the poor assistant sitting on the floor praying to Odin that he's alive. Well, he didn't interfere with the Valkyrie. I guess that's why she didn't kill him. Well, she didn't kill the doctor either. The bullets that the agent, the dickhead shot, they're the ones who killed her, I think. Yeah, because I don't think the Valkyrie, the doctor didn't assault her, so why would she? So that happens. Then we go 3 days later. We're at a forest, and it's Eichmann's funeral. You see his daughter and some other people, maybe friends, maybe more family. So while they're standing there, it's also raining. We see Hellboy and Abe in a car with another government agent. Two, actually. I assume that the woman's also one. And he's telling Hellboy how, despite everything, the murder of Professor Aronson, the murder of Eichmann, the murder of the dickhead government agent, the murder of the examiner lady. Besides all of that and all that's happened, and him taking Mjolnir, his government's still telling him that he has to cooperate with them in whatever they need. So he's obviously pissed. Man, they're really assholes, these agents in Sweden, at least in this story. So yes, that happens. Eichmann, sorry, not Eichmann. And Abe's asking him, well, what would you have done in this case, Mr. Agent? So they now Abe asked him, have your people found the King of Giants? He said, no, have yours? And then they tell him they have a lead somewhere. And he says, well, how did you get this lead? How do you know where to go? And I think Hellboy maybe tells him, do you not know the meaning of our name? We're the BPRD, the Bureau of Research and Defense. It's our job to know this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, he's not a very prepared government agent, is he? But anyway, now that they have Eichmann's daughter working with them, she's a folklorist. Hellboy and Abe, they fly in a helicopter somewhere. They're dropped off there, and then they were told by the dwarves that this big dog, also from Norse mythology, I don't remember his name, His big dog also goes between the realms. That he's been spotted there. That Odin told him, not Odin, Fu, Odin. That probably the King of Giants have told him to go there and prepare a trap for them. So that they get there, they get a car. There's a whole village there, and it looks like it's deserted. Maybe all the bodies were, everyone was killed probably by the King of Giants. Now they don't know how how he also manages to move around there with everything. Anyway, they find a car. Abe apparently knows how to start up cars. You know how they show it kind of in the movies. So they start driving until they come across the dwarves. The dwarves look surprised. They're like, "How are you all not dead? And your bones have been eaten." They're like, "What?" And then they tell them about the dog. They reach another place in this village. They go inside. It's I don't know, maybe like a common eating room. And you can see a pile of bodies. They said that the dog has gathered up all the corpses, and Abe comments like a dragon. So they're all there. There's a pile of bodies. That was like, oh, that is gross. And you see the dog on top. And then he's like, "Abe?" And Abe says, "Yes." "Shoot that thing." And Abe answers, "With pleasure." He shoots at the dog, but before they go in, Hellboy tells Eichmann's daughter, "Look, don't take this personally. I don't want you to get in with us because you're just a human. You will, you're a lot more prone to be killed than us." And she points at his gun and tells him, "Well, if you give me that, I won't be." I just got a comment here. Hellboy doesn't have a regular gun. It's even heavier, I think, than a regular one. And I'm shocked that after she shoots it, she's not just thrown backwards. She's a small lady. But anyway, somehow she doesn't. But Abe and Eichmann's daughter have to go outside anyway because they can't fight this thing with bullets. Seems to be a common theme. So Hellboy and the dwarves begin to fight this dog. But unfortunately, Brock gets killed. They keep fighting it. We don't see how they defeat it, but we see afterwards they come out. One of the dwarves throws a torch on the floor, and the whole building starts to burn. Abe asks, what did he ask? It's like Brock. He asked about Brock, and the Hellboy says he's dead. So they all get in the car, and they drive for another 2 days. Now, the more time passes, the more Hellboy fuses with the hammer, because he starts to tell them more information than he didn't know before this. He knows where to go, because Mjolnir's like a compass in his hand. It's telling him where to. Now, the whole problem is there was this war up there, and because of it, everything got fucked with the 9 realms. Parts of the 9 realms got fused with Midgard, the human world. So a lot of these creatures, they don't have anywhere to go. They go there, and there's a lot more worlds. Basically, Midgard got affected the least from all this. And now they have to do something. So they keep driving until Hellboy's like, "Okay, stop here. We'll do the rest of the journey on foot." They walk until they find more corpses, more people that the King of Giants has sucked the life force out of. Until they reach some abandoned village, and then Hellboy says that this is here, what looks like a village. Abe says, but it is a village, Hellboy. Then Hellboy raises Mjolnir, lightning hits, and then you see there's some kind of citadel of the giants. You see these 3 big towers. So that's it. That's where they have to go, and that's where the issue ends. To be concluded in issue 4. Alright, let's start with the cover. As you can see, it's gonna be the same theme on all these covers. You got this, as I said before, you got this background, you got Hellboy. Here it's cool that he has 3 of the dwarves with him as well. That's kind of cool, and I do like the green. It looks very good with this gold. Like I said before, I like this concept. Looks good. Alright, art. Well, I can at least show you the King of Giants because he's already on the first page. Look at this motherfucker. He's a big one. Obviously. See? Ah, there's Eichmann. Yeah, he lost it. He's done all this because he wanted godly power. That's like all that interested him. Feel bad for his daughter. He was so worried Hellboy would kill him, and well, Hellboy didn't kill him in the end, but her father didn't end up being such a good man after all. They say he's laughing evilly, and his daughter's the poor thing shocked. See, they're fighting. There we go. You see there the dwarves are. That's cool. I like the art by, what's his name? Matt Smith. I like how he makes it look similar to Mike Mignola's, but not exactly the same. Alright, so that was the art. Another great issue. I loved the amount of action here. I did find it funny that the king's like, okay, we're gonna stop the fight, we'll resume this some other time. It's like, okay. I guess he wasn't planning to destroy the whole world at once. So that's good. But yeah, there was plenty of action, fighting, things happening. I do feel bad for the examiner lady. I mean, she was just doing her job there. I think maybe if the agent didn't shoot at her, that dickhead, maybe it probably would have been alive. But yeah, it's a whole mess, and I do wonder how they're gonna fix it all. Because you have, I'm assuming when Hellboy finally defeats this king, and I'm sure he will, then the hammer will finally, then Mjolnir will finally detach from his hand. I take it. And then, I don't know, if Thor's dead, I think. Unless he's gonna come back. He is a god after all. But that is left to be seen. It's sad they lost Brock. Poor Eitri. I know that actually does also happen in the God of War Ragnarok too. Brock dies in although in that version his name is Sidri. Not Eitri. Unless they were spelling it wrong. Interesting. I'm sure they've done they have made changes, obviously, so maybe they just changed the name to Sidri. Anyway, those are the same brothers, of course. It could be they just took the idea. Yeah, the great issue. I love how the story's progressing, and I look forward to the conclusion. Whenever I bloody find the last comic, because I don't remember where it is even. Embarrassed to say. But yeah, I will find it, and I'll finish this story, because this has been great. I do still want to get the book, because this is, they made it based on a book that Christopher Golden and Mike Mignola wrote. I already said it so many times, but it sounds like it's going to be a really interesting read. So yeah, this has been great. I look forward to see what other Norse mythology gods and creatures will appear. I wonder if we'll see the Valkyrie lady in the last issue. She's somehow going to help. Or maybe not. Well, that's left to be seen, but I hope it's going to be one epic fight. Alright, folks, so that is it. Let me know. Have you read issue 3 of the story? What did you think about it? Do you like the progress? Do you not? Let me know down below in the comments. Well, that is it. Now remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!